My name is Mary Elizabeth Burgess. I am the Development Director for the City of Jasper. I have other people in the planning department here. We have Ellie Grundman right there.
Hi.
She's a planner in our department. Emily Grant, she is a jack of all trades. If you need to get a hold of any of us, our cards are right there. We also have Julianne Meadows from the Regional Commission here to help with us get this rolling. So welcome everybody. I'm very glad to see this turnout. This is very exciting for me. I've done a comp plan in quite some time, so we're very excited. Yes, so this right here, this picture really encompasses how I feel about Jasper. Now, I know it's not about me, so we're here to hear from you. So how do you feel about Jasper? So today we're going to be talking, obviously, welcome, introductions, a comprehensive plan overview, group tasks, consensus building, next steps, and closing comments. So planning 101. So I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with planning and how we plan, but planning 101. The Georgia Planning Act, the legislation gives us the ability to plan, establishes the framework for coordinated and comprehensive planning. A lot of words, government legislation, blah, blah, blah. So we're also a home rule state, which allows us to adopt and implement plans and zoning. So the top down is the state gives it to the regional, gives it to the local. So the state is the Department of Community Affairs. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with that. Regional is our regional commission, Northwest Georgia Regional Commission, and of course the local being the City of Jasper. So why do we do what we do? Why do we plan? One of the reasons we do is to get qualified local government status, which we currently do have. So that allows us to apply for grants, both state and federal. So just as an example, this grant funding that's tied to planning and comprehensive planning, these are all the programs that we are eligible through or for by comprehensive planning. So long-range planning is a tool that we need to use in order to see the future or be able to plan for the future. One thing that this document does not do, it is not a zoning ordinance. It is not regulatory. So we are not going to be creating any rules or codes or anything that's going to influence that. What we are going to be creating is that we're going to talk about the critical issues, the opportunities, and the things that we can focus on in order to bring our community projects to fruition. So, so we do a 20-year look, and then we do a 5-year update every year. So right now we're in, we just did a 5-year update because we're part of the joint comprehensive plan with Pickens County. And so that was completed in 23. So why are we doing it again and not with the county? Well, we're doing it because we have certain needs that the county does not have. So as part of our comprehensive planning, so we want this, we're moving away from the broad county. We want it focused more on the city and the city's needs. So it's a great time for us because, as if you haven't not heard, Miss Deputy City Manager Kim Goldiner speak about our water and sewer situation and suspension, then I'm not going to be the one to talk about it today because I feel like we've talked about the water and sewer situation to death. However, this suspension gives us a unique opportunity to take the not allowing new site plans, not allowing new commercial growth, not allowing any new residential to come in. It gives us the opportunity to take a breath and really focus on the city as a whole. So what we want to do is we want to prepare for the future. We want to do this roadmap that's going to take us to where we see ourselves in 20 years. And then one of the main things, and not, again, utilizing this suspension, is the creation of impact fees. So an impact fee is something we charge the developer. So you want to come into our community? All right, each dwelling unit is going to cost you X amount because we got to put it towards parks, water, sewer, roadways, stormwater, all of our infrastructure. So if you come in, you're going to have to pay in order for us to maintain our infrastructure to the levels that they would need. So not only will they be responsible for, say, extending lines or creating new traffic patterns, they'll also be having to do that, but they'll also be part of our impact fee, and they will be charged an amount that is only going to be used for those items that are going to be identified in our capital improvements plan. Our capital improvements plan is something that we've newly adopted and will be part of our comprehensive plan annual update, because comprehensive plan requires that your capital improvements plan is adopted annually. So what is the purpose of the comprehensive plan? It's that shared vision, it's strategic planning, again, that local qualified local governance status, impact fees. So pretty much what it is. So what is in this plan? So these are the required elements. So the community goals, needs, opportunities, broadband services, community work program, capital improvements element, economic workforce development, land use, transportation, and housing. We're going to really be focusing on these bottom four today. We're going to talk about these four topics because they are very important and they basically help us garner all the information we'll need to put into this document. So currently, in our comprehensive plan, we share a joint vision with the county. So Pickens County and the city of Jasper are proud and vibrant communities that work to promote sustainability and self-sufficiency. We embrace our history while coming together as a community to promote economic growth and development, protect our natural and cultural resources, and build a successful future for our children through the actions listed. So we'll keep out those. So some of the objectives that we have. So obviously we want to be economically prosperous. We want resource management, efficient land use, preparedness, sense of place, cooperation with our jurisdictions, housing options, transportation, education, community health. So right here, this is Pickens County, and this is our future land development map. So if you look at this, and you see, I think you can see the 515 corridor, all in red, and that's all in the city of Jasper. Now you see all the rural, is those green colors and stuff. That's the majority of that. All of that is the county. So the county's future land use is not development. And they've made that completely evident in their new zoning ordinance by increasing lot sizes and doing away with smaller density. So, however, they don't have a commercial corridor. So where do we get the money, right? So who funds a county or a city? Well, a lot of it is our taxes. A lot of it is the commercial growth. So we don't have much of an option where the growth is going to go. We have 515 corridor, and we have small commercial nodes with the city of Jasper, Nelson, and the other areas to the north, big over here. So as you see, the county has an idea that they just want to do rural housing, but rural housing does not lower your taxes. Community growth with infrastructure and good land use objectives really help in crafting a sustainable, that self-sufficiency and sustainable nature. So without the city of Jasper, the county as a whole would not be able to survive. They do not have the commercial growth that the city has, which the 515 corridor allows us to have. So 515 corridor is a blessing, and also we know the other word that it is too. But how do we make that better? That's what we're here to talk about. So, big part of this is your public input. So we have a steering committee. If you're on the steering committee, please raise your hand. How about there, and in. So these are members of the public who are also business owners. They are also affiliated with cultural resources. They're part of our council, our planning commission. So, and then there are some at-large members as well. Not everybody is here right now, but I have been told that most people are going to split it up into our first and second hearings. So, again, our input is, again, that stakeholder. So, again, we send out a stakeholder survey to all 628 of our businesses. And we also put out the community survey, and we've, like I stated before, we've almost got 600 responses. And so for a community of 4,200 and change, that's pretty good. So one of the things that we talk about in the comprehensive plan is the relationship between our goals and objectives, and then how do we get there. So an item in the comprehensive plan is the work program. This is the most important part. This is what they give you all the gold stars with as part of the community fair and regional commission. And so how do we get this work program? We identify the what, the how, the when, and the who. So the goals that are required for the elements, objectives and funding, how are we going to get there? When, is it going to be in the next 5, 10, 15, or 20 years? And then who? How are we going to do this? Is staff going to do this? Is GDOT going to help us? Is the regional commission, the state? So how do we get to those things? So this is an example of one of our projects, and I'm sure you've heard of it. So in our 2013-2017 work program, we identified capacity for the sewer plant. Right. And then you come to our 2018-2022 accomplishments. And right there, 2025, completed. We're actually completing it in the next couple of weeks. We're doing the final walkthrough for the sewer capacity. So that's really exciting. And that is a big gold star for the city of Jasper. We said we're going to do something. It took us a little longer, got the funding, and now we're at that point where we have successfully completed our project. So being able to successfully complete these projects gets us those funding opportunities. So, like I said, we weren't going to focus on water and sewer because I feel like we've beaten that dead horse forever, but I just want to give you a brief update of where we stand and how we got where we're moving forward. So in 2022, we started the master utility plan, and that also created our capital improvements portion. So we hired a consultant to go through all of our infrastructure, our water, our sewer, and to some extent our stormwater, and see how we are, what we need to do to fix it, how do we get there in our time frame. So a couple of projects that we're working on. So our sewer capacity, that's what we just talked about. That was started in summer of 23 and is going to be completed this year. We have our sewer collections projects, which is beginning at the end of this month. We have our water plant maintenance, which the bid is to be awarded in November. And our master lift station project, again, a November bid award, hopefully. And then our water distribution system, which is strengthening our connections with Gilmer and Cherokee counties. We're in discussions. We're talking. We're working through that because obviously there's a lot of moving parts that go with that. So not harp on that too much, but we feel that our water and sewer, we've been working on it for so long. We know what we need to do in order to be able to foster good, healthy growth. So what are we doing here today? I gotta fix this. Is perfect. So you see how there are 4 tables out here. So we're gonna break out into group discussions. And so each table is about a different topic. We have economic development, land use and parks, transportation, and housing. And so we're going to review the existing comprehensive plan's needs and opportunities and build a consensus. We're going to look at what we've already started in the current comprehensive plan. Is it still relevant? And if so, all right, is it still as important as we've previously stated? And are there things that we need to work on that aren't on these lists? That's what we really want to know. Do we need to update our goals? Do we need to update some of the areas that we have looked at in 23 that may not be appropriate anymore? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get some consensus building. And then after that, we're going to talk about 20 minutes in our group. And then each group is going to report your top 3 goals that you have come to that you would like to see in that specific topic. So after that, after the discussion and everything, and we're going to do, of course, we have our dots so you can go around and push what is important to you. Because what we're going to do after breakout and after everyone's reported is we're going to encourage everybody to grab their dots and go around and stay on the different topics that you may not have been specifically focusing on. If you agree or disagree, with the other group's attainments of the situation. So after this, what are we doing with this project? It's, next step, we're going to start the impact fee committee. We're hoping to have a draft in December or January. We're going to have several more public hearings for draft review. And then we send it out to the regional commission. Regional commission sends it back with comments, concerns, reviews. And then once we've come to a consensus that we are all on the same page and we've got everything that the regional commission thinks that we need to check, then we send it to DCA for review. And then once DCA says it's good, then we adopt it at City Council. I get that right, Julian?
Yes.
I always forget those. Formal adoption is before DCA or after.
But-
So one more thing that we're going to do, we are going to do a photo contest. So our existing comprehensive plan has some outdated photos that need to be replaced. And what we are going to be opening with the help of our Jasper2045.com website, we're going to be taking photos in. If you want your photo to be considered for the cover of our comprehensive plan, which will be the face of the city for the next 20 years, and also being able to utilize those photos throughout the document. So if you have a great picture of a downtown live, or you have a picture in mind that says, oh my God, this just captures Jasper to me, we're going to encourage you to submit those pictures on our website. And then we're going to also do a poll on social media for the winner. And then that person's picture will be on the cover of our comprehensive plan. So that being said, we're going to jump into this. And, for right now, we're going to break out in groups. And I encourage you, if you are an economic development guru, don't go to economic development, go to land use. Explore something new. So we're going to break out into these groups. So again, over here is economic development. Over there is land use. We have housing and transportation in those back corners. So if we want to break out into those groups, we have facilitators that are going to help you talk through what we're going to be discussing and how we get to that consensus building. Are there any questions?
Nice.
Yes, sir.
On the photo contest, are selfies eligible?
So,
Everybody except maybe you.
No selfie. Okay, I just want to make sure if people had that question.
hey, if you get the most votes for your selfie, or maybe cupcake selfie, I mean, cupcake's very photogenic.
Yes. Well, I have a face for ratios.
I have a question.
Yes.
You have a created your impact fee committee. Was there not an impact fee prior to this?
Correct.
Wow.
Yes.
Hmm.
Indeed. So, all right. If there aren't any other questions, please disperse yourself and try and explore different areas. We got Julianne over there in transportation. That's a lot to talk about. Big things in transportation. 53 Wide. Land use, always fun. Economic development. Did you find anything new that you wanted to add to the goals over there?
Well, we really wanted to enhance some of the goals.
All right.
And we felt like the goals aren't bad. They're pretty generic, pretty there. But one of the things we want to do, or would love to see happen, is that downtown become a more accessible and beauty area. So you increase greenway around the town, put better walkways in so that people want to come and walk and stay there, because we think that's the uniqueness of Jasper. While, yes, there's going to be growth out at the quarter. Great. That's business. That's where I live. But I want to be able to, on Friday night or even during the week, come in, walk the streets and enjoy the community. And I think Jasper is the community, so we want to see that enhanced by putting better streets or walking paths in the city and more green living. The other big thing we really feel is parking, of course, downtown is a huge issue, and that all is inclusive, and that is mobility. It's very difficult. A lot of the walkways are still kind of rough. And we've got to think about that. And the big one for us is just transportation, traffic, more around the schools, the high school, major concern of what we're going to do with that in the very near future. So those would be kind of our priority focuses.
You know, and we've been talking, I'm sure everybody's talked about the 53 corridor widening and stuff, and, you know, yes, it's gonna be a struggle and that's happening, but those 5-foot wide sidewalks from 515 all the way downtown, multimodal, 5 feet, you can bike, you can walk, it's gonna change it, the whole outlook. You know, and then all of our utilities and our stormwater along there, it's gonna be nice and pretty, it's gonna be very, very nice.
But once they walk to the end, they've got to be able to get into the town.
Exactly.
And right now, there's, you know, we don't find that connection from that walkway up there to the town, so that the town becomes a focus.
Yeah, and we're also, you know, we do have a current TAP grant, a Transportation Alternatives Program through the state. We are developing new sidewalks downtown. We're in the engineering phase, and then we will have to get more grants in order to get into the implementation. But having the engineering opens us up to more opportunities because now we are shovel ready. So we will be able to apply for more grants to get those sidewalks actually built. It's going to go from all of downtown down to Revolution and Church. So if you take that with 53 corridor all the way around, you're going to have a nice connectivity throughout there. So
What is the status of that 515 corridor? Should we have any timing on
the 53 widening,
Yeah, that's.
yes, they are. I mean, the 515 corridor is, I miss something on there every day, so I'm like, oh my God, they're widening that too. So they're looking at a summer of 27. So, you know, they have a few parcels that they have to go through condemnation. Either they couldn't come to an agreement or they couldn't find an actual heir. So there are some properties along there that somebody's passed away and there is no heir. And if you've ever had to deal with any of that stuff, it's a little bit of a headache. So, all right, excellent. How about housing over here? Always a popular topic.
Yes, this was fun. We all had a lot of opinions. The main thing was we were trying to figure out how we could get affordable housing here in Jasper, because that seems to be like the main concern. So a couple of things that were thrown out was working with developers for maybe possibly if we did apartments, rent control, housing bonds, affordable housing incentives, which we talked about smaller units for maybe like a single young person. Amber had said how, you know, a lot of her employees do not have anywhere to live close to work. So trying to bring things closer to, you know, businesses, whether that be along 515 corridor or expect like going out towards 53, things like that.
Yes, affordable housing, huge thing. Part of our comprehensive plan opens us up to more grant opportunities. Because of our population, we have the Rural Housing Initiative, which we can help developers improve our infrastructure in order to build affordable housing for us. So say we get an apartment complex of say 45 units and they have to extend water and sewer in order to make it happen, the state will give us the money to do the water and sewer to get it there to promote that affordable housing. What is it, GIC? What is
Georgia Initiative for Community Housing.
Yes, that one too. That's another big one for grant opportunities. And then you're thinking inclusionary zoning. Okay, so you want to build 50 houses, 10% have to be affordable. That's another thing we can implement through an ordinance. So being able to take that, okay, that's our goal, get affordable housing. How are we going to get there? We're going to propose inclusionary zoning so that every developer has to give X percentage to affordable housing. So there are, that's an excellent work program, goal, initiative, success. So, all right. And of course, walkability, yes. All right, we have land use over here. Any of you want to speak towards what we were talking about?
No, I think you could do it.
Land use, my favorite topic. So, our land use goals are pretty broad, not very specific, kind of what y'all were saying over there with transportation. So one of the things that we were talking about is just how can we get a better mixture of things. So obviously, when you're driving down 515, do you know where you are in Jasper? You know you're in Jasper?
Yes, good place.
just because you've been driving that way home, but half asleep home from work, you know. So doing gateways, being able to have gateways that say welcome to Jasper, you know, when you come across that 515, 575, that turn there and you slow down, maybe over to a Whirly Preserve, you know, doing some gateway, you know, to promote the city as a whole. Also doing wayfinding, you know, where's downtown? I don't know, does Jasper have a downtown? I wouldn't know if I was driving on 515. So do we do something at the corner of 53? Downtown this way? Do we promote? Do we do those things? So that's another thing we talked about. We talked about a tree ordinance. You know, should we protect our trees? That before you cut down a tree in a certain corridor or downtown area, you have to come and say why you're taking it down, and how are you going to replace it? How are you going to beautify the area? So that's another thing that we were talking about. And then of course, you know, keeping the kids. How do we keep the kids in the city wanting to live here? We need entertainment. We need new commercial options. So we need something, you know, we were discussing having a skating rink growing up, having a movie theater when we were growing up, you know, none of those things. We don't want to encourage kids to find their own entertainment. Sometimes we really need to direct that. So that's another thing we talked about. And then of course, my favorite topic, top of the shop housing. Offering housing opportunities above your commercial opportunities. Now, one of the jurisdictions I previously worked in Virginia, they had top of the shop above Whole Foods. They took the roof of Whole Foods and built 24 studio apartments. So things like that, trying to encourage your developers or just telling them, hey, if you want to build 60,000 square feet, then you better find someplace to put 4 affordable units. And these are things that we can do. These are objectives that we can tie to development. So these are great suggestions. So, all right. If anyone else has anything else they'd like to talk about, I'm really thankful that y'all showed up because, you know, I didn't know if we were going to have 550 or none. I didn't know if we were going to be sitting here binge eating, but did everybody get a raffle ticket? Come on. I'll just start handing out things then.
That would be giving raffle tickets for free also.
They are for free. Come on. Who needs a raffle ticket? Okay, lastly, on your table, while we get these raffle tickets going, there are these postcards. One last input. In the middle of the table, there are postcards. All right. What are your top 3 goals in the city of Jasper? Tell me what you want to see in the city. Write it there. You don't have to write your name or anything. Just write it down. All right, Emily's picking numbers, so take a look.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna go by the last 3 digits, okay? 524. 524.
And then just come up and you can
Is that
come.
you? Come
All
on.
right, come on.
Man, come on. Look at the
We got
bill.
some mugs
Look at your
with
own
gift
stuff.
cards and some
These are
glasses
lolly
with gift
drops.
cards.
This one is either Carrington or Red Bean.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to support all of our.
Yep, that's
Take
yours.
one.
Yep.
Man, the first mug in the.
Yep, you are the first person to have a Jasper.
Right.
45.
Right. To a garter.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Since you're the first one, you can be a big deal.
I still have, well, if I.
Thank you.
Okay, our next one is 529.
That's me.
Yeah, come on.
All right.
Come pick your Thank you. Pick which one of you like.
Well, I did.
All right.
Yes, it does.
Our next one is 532. 532.
It's gotta be somebody.
I know someone left
yeah, she
earlier.
just left.
532. Nobody? Okay. Next one. 521.
Me.
Ah, come on. Pick one.
It's not rigged.
Awesome. Okay. Yep, you just throw it away. Perfect. And then the next one is 522. 522.
I know, it's whole
Come
table.
on.
trying.
You better shake those
I
up.
know, I'm trying. Okay. Y'all
She
hit it
had
at the same time.
521, 524, 522 had to come up.
Okay.
It probably is.
Got a really good chance, right?
I get like a longer, okay. 530. 530. Body? 530?
930.
That's it right here. I'm trying to get what Fabiter said for a bit.
Oh. Okay. 528.
Taking time.
528.
Daniels.
What is?
I think we had that many people leave.
That's the goals.
525.
Did y'all do this correctly?
Are you 525?
Yes.
I told Addie I was gonna make her take my ticket. She's like, I've already been.
Oh my gosh, okay.
All right, last one.
Who's our last lucky person? Let's see.
519.
Come on.
Awesome.
All right, so next
Here,
step.
Lord, thank you.
Keep your eyes open for our photo contest and updated public hearings. And if you go to our Jasper2045.com, they'll have all our updates. We're going to be releasing the survey results, so please keep in touch. And if
We
you
also
need us-
have tons of refreshments.
Yes.
Please take some on your way out.
Yes, grab a cookie to go, or we're just going to sit here for the next 30 minutes and eat all the cookies for running.